Alright, so here's the next part. Last part, we pretty much got the shape of his body down, and we started working on the details like the collar and stuff. So, with that said, we're going to. I think we're going to move on to the arms and stuff now. We can't really do the belt and stuff yet, I feel like. Uh, oh, not so much the arms, but we should do the sleeves next. I think that's the next logical kind of thing to do. So, the sleeves are pretty easy. Pretty much gonna take some clay and flatten the bottom. What you can even do is kind of make that kind of pinching thing with your index finger and thumb, and just slowly turn the clay, which kind of creates more of a depth in the sleeve. So that's pretty good. And this is actually too big, so I'm just gonna take some clay off. Um, but essentially, yeah, that's the sleeve. I think it's a pretty good size. Just kind of gonna move this collar a little bit. And at this point, I'm thinking if you really need a toothpick, you probably don't need. I mean, always toothpicks are always handy, and you can always kind of use them. But especially where I just have this one that I kind of briefly showed off at the beginning of the video, I'm gonna kind of save it for the more important things like the legs and stuff. Um, but I mean, once again, toothpicks always help. But just in this case, I feel like I'm just putting on, this kind of this part of the arm, so I don't feel like it needs to be attached with a toothpick. If you think it does, then you can do that, but I'm not gonna. Um, and I kind of screwed this collar up a little bit. I'm just gonna kind of redefine the collar. You're gonna have to be careful of that when you're putting the arms on. I was kind of expecting for that, but I was hoping they were going to be high enough. Maybe this one I made a little bit better, so it won't be, um, so it won't be as messed up. All right, so I got to do another thing. I think by the end of this part, we'll probably have the entirety of his upper body done. Aside from the sword holder and like his arm, like his actual arms and stuff. But the rest of it, I think, should be good. So yeah, I kind of completely forgot as well that we're going to have to do his accessories, like the sword and the shield. So that's gonna be another like two parts in itself. Yeah. All right. So I want to I just feel like his shoulders are kind of lacking. So I'm just gonna put some clay in between. Um, I don't know, like in between his where his sleeve is and kind of his shoulder. Um, I'm just gonna do that because I feel like they should be a little bit bigger. And I think his arms will get more defined as we actually put them on, and then put the sword holder and stuff on, and then his belts. So it's just that patience piece that I talked about a couple parts ago, and kind of bothering me a lot that Link's head is so wobbly. Um, I'm actually just gonna do something really quick. I don't really recommend you guys do this, but I guess I would recommend that you use a long toothpick when we were putting the neck on, because I just really don't like how wobbly that is. It's actually kind of interfering with what I'm trying to do. So um, I'm just gonna put a toothpick kind of is in his neck so that it doesn't wobble as much as it was. And then I'm going to put some peach to kind of patch that over. This looks like peach. Where's my... I can't find like any of these colors now. Alright. Yeah, I don't know, I just felt like it was going to interfere with what I was doing. I didn't realize the head had that much weight to it. All the while we're making sure that the head doesn't, get messed up. And what you can always do is just kind of use his forehead as an area to push. You don't want to flatten it, but I mean, out of all the places you could, flatten if you needed to, I guess the forehead would be the place to like push if you needed to. Alright, so it's a little bit better. It's not going to wobble as much. Alright, cool. Just now the hat's not going to stay on. Kind of fixing this up. If this hat gives us like problems. This clay is like kind of cold. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but I'm just saying that I don't know. It's maybe because it's cold, it's not sticking very well. I don't know. It's just room temperature, but I guess I don't know. It feels kind of cold. All right, okay. Hopefully that's good. All right. Now I forget what I was doing. Oh yeah, I think we were actually gonna do the belt and stuff now, which. Gee, maybe we shouldn't have put the collar on first. I thought it was going to help us with kind of the placement of all of these, but I guess it didn't because now it's going to get in the way as we put on the belt, which is going to use this. What kind of? Yeah, we'll use this brown. Kind of this legit brown. Even though for picky color's sake, which I'm not even really this color. You know, like I don't care about the color like to this extent. In my clay most of the time, because if it's paint I could easily mix it, but if it's colored clay I wouldn't really care. But I think this is a slightly darker than technically what the artwork has, just to be, you know, really with it. This is more like the shading on the artwork rather than the actual color, but it's okay, we're going to go with it, especially because, I mean, the yellow we used isn't exactly the yellow and stuff, so, I don't know, I just thought I'd throw that out there as a slight disclaimer, but, I mean, it's, you know. Alright, so for his belt going across, we're gonna make a really long piece and flatten it. And, alright, my toothpick tool thing is over here. And what we're gonna do is, I don't know, I feel like this is one of the easiest parts about clay is when you kind of two-dimensionally cut out pieces. So, after it's all flattened out, I am gonna take this and kind of trim along the edges to make it a bit thinner, and then I'm going to kind of chop off the ends too. And you don't really need a clay tool for this per se. I mean, like I said, this is like not even a real clay tool really. So if you just get something sharp that you can kind of do that with, it makes it a lot easier. And then we got this small piece in it. I actually left a little thing there. So I'm just going to measure this to make sure it's a good size. It's a little too thick, actually. Never thought about what to do if it was too thick. I guess I'll just kind of split it in half and flatten it again. And then we can just kind of do the same thing again. It was that depth factor, once again. That is a very recurring theme through all my clay tutorials. Alright, so this should be good, or at least a lot better. And even if it doesn't go all the way around, we can just connect a couple pieces after to help it. Alright, that's pretty good. I like that. I like that. So, yeah, simply what we're going to do is... actually, I might make it just kind of pinch this together just to make it a little bit thinner so when it goes around his, kind of his body, I don't know, it doesn't interfere with his shirt or anything. I know that's probably not the ideal way to do it, but I don't know, we don't really have a lot of kind of area to work with. So, aside from doing that, we're just kind of going to literally lay it kind of over his body like that. And then once it gets back here, you can kind of flatten it out again. And then we lifted the collar up. Well, we kind of just put the collar back down. So we've lifted the collar up several times at this point, and this side's collar is actually almost getting lost. So my bad there, but yeah. So that's that. And even though it didn't connect all the way through, we can just simply. I'll just extend this piece a little bit. We can just add some clay here and have it meet over here. So like that. So of course we're not done with this yet. I'm gonna take the flat end of this toothpick and kind of just lightly kind of sketch into the clay a mark that kind of determines, you know, the I don't know, the different lines in his belt, rather than actually sculpting them in or whatever, because this works, and yeah, I just feel like it's better to do. And then skip. We're skipping a wide section, so just do it a couple times. Again, if you're going off of the artwork or whatever, I did it like 3 times at the top, skipped a decent amount of space, and then did one more. And now we're gonna take some yellow. And we're already at the 10 minutes? Wow, where does the time go? I'm gonna make a small little belt buckle. And we're gonna put it right in between these two right here. And even if it looks a little bit fat, we can either use our finger or use this. Kind of square it out. Cool. So with that said, I'm going to end this part. We got this far. In the next part, we will simply continue down the line.